Lifestyle radio station. The Midday is on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kesmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. First batch of 130 nurses, midwives and mental health practitioners depart Ghana for Antigua and Barbuda on a 3-year contract and the government's labor exchange program. Also on the program, Minority Caucus takes on government over credit for the recent economic gains as they provide a 1-year assessment of the John Mahama administration. Later on the program, battle lines for the Ayawaso East Constituency drawn as 6 candidates pick up nomination forms to contest the NDC primary. Very much for joining us on the program. Now, the race to succeed the late Member of Parliament for Ayawaso East, Mahama Ture, has officially ignited as 6 high-profile candidates, including the late MP's widow Hajia Amina Adam, picked up nomination forms to contest the National Democratic Congress primary. The seats became vacant following the sudden demise of Mr. Ture in early January 2026, triggering a by-election scheduled for Tuesday, March 3, 2026. For the NDC, Ayawaso East is more than a constituency. It is an impenetrable Zongo fortress that has never fallen to the opposition since the 1992 democratic transition. My colleague Noble Korsbianan is in the community to engage with one of the 6 aspirants, of course, also to observe what's going on there. He joins us live on the line. Noble, what can you tell us?
Well, Lucy, so like you mentioned, the Ayawaso East constituency, it is gearing up for a by-election on their set of parts. But before that, the NDC will have to elect candidates so that they can go into the by-election on set of parts. The NPC, we understand, will select a candidate to go into the by-election. A few names have popped up. You mentioned 6 of them. That's correct. Facing up against the widow, like you mentioned earlier, is political heavyweight Papa Jamal. And Papa Jamal is currently serving as Ghana's ambassador to Nigeria. He's a veteran politician and legal practitioner. He wants to represent the constituency in Parliament. Papa Jamal also contested the seat in the primaries leading up to the 2024 election because he gave the late National run for his money because he pulled 525 votes against the votes of National 675, and he has confirmed his participating. Also, people contesting will be Dr. Yakubu Azindo. He is also a perennial contender, and he pulled 215 votes in the 2024 primary. There's a new name, Mohammed Rami. He is a grassroots popularizer. Mohammed Abdul Salam, he's popularly known as Abdul Salam Jaru. He, if you like, is representing the youth wing. And then Najib Mohammed Sani is a rising star in the constituency intellectual circle. So these are the names that we're looking for in the Ayawaso East parliamentary primaries of the NDC. Now, January 27, tomorrow, will be the deadline for the submitting of nomination forms. And then the day after, we see vetting, balloting, and then appeals if there should be any. And then February 7 will be the parliamentary primary itself. So that's the plan for the constituency going forward, BC.
But what can you tell us about what's happening within the constituency itself, the atmosphere ahead of, the by-election, which is scheduled for March?
Well, BC, the constituency is usual because the election, the primary is what is happening right now, and the by-election has not started yet. So it's a few months away. The constituency is regular, business is going on, people are working, doing what they are expected to do. What you can see that for the primary, some of the aspirants have already begun campaigning. You can see a few posters here and there of some of the aspirants. If you come to the Lima roundabout, for instance, it's a very popular roundabout, and you see a few posters of Haji Adam. Haji Adam is the widow of the late Member of Parliament. That is what is going on at the moment. So if you come to the constituency right now, this is what you're seeing. Everything is going on as expected. And in a few moments, we'll have an engagement with one of the names contesting the parliamentary seat.
Thank you very much. Noble Crosby, and currently in the Ayawaso East Constituency, gauging the mood ahead of the NDC's primary and, of course, the by-election, which is scheduled to take place in March. Now, the first batch of 130 nurses, midwives, and mental health practitioners are departing for Antigua and Barbuda on a 3-year contract to beef up its health sector under the Ghana Labour Exchange Program. Earlier, the government of Antigua and Barbuda robustly defended its decision to recruit nurses from Ghana, describing the move as a necessary intervention to address persistent staffing shortages and burnout within the country's healthcare system. Ghana is actively implementing a government-led quote-unquote nurse export strategy to address high unemployment among trained nurses and generate foreign revenue. The program is driven by surplus of trained nurses, with roughly 74,000 qualified nurses unemployed and projections reaching some 180,000 by 2028. The Health Minister, Kwabena Minta, has implored nurses to work with diligence and professionalism as they are carrying the flag of Ghana in all their endeavors.
Today, we are here to say goodbye to you, but we'll be following your progress with keen interest. And as you are going, you must be reminded of the fact that you are carrying the flag of Ghana. And therefore, we wish that you will go and work with diligence and professionalism. Those of you who are at home watching us, I'm very hopeful that it will get to your turn. Usually, the debate has been the fact that we do not have health workers in our various health facilities, but we are exporting health workers. That is not it. The availability of health professionals in this country is not a problem. As I've already indicated, we have excess. We have inherited about 80,000 health professionals. But as you all know, we have a country to govern, and at every point in time, our budget can absorb a certain proportion of them. And so as government is looking at absorbing some internally in-country in our various health facilities, we are also exploring other avenues outside the country. I think.
And you had there the Health Minister, Kwabena Minta Akanda, my colleague George Quainin, who joined in this interaction, as it were, joins me in the studio now. He's returned from that meeting. George, I do understand that the Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, was also there. Did he give any word or any observations?
No, but he didn't say anything. But clearly you can tell that this is more like a promise that has been accomplished, because clearly this is more like a certain job and employment. But all these 130 nurses are so excited to be leaving to beef up the health sector in the country. And like you rightly mentioned, the government of Antigua has actually defended a decision to recruit nurses from Ghana. And here in Ghana, the government says it met a backlog of some 80,000 nurses. So yes, we have the resources. So people that are saying that Ghana is actually exporting nurses at the expense or at the detriment of Ghana is not what it is. The issue is not about availability. We have the nurses, but exchange programs like this is how government can actually tackle unemployment in the country. So hopefully in 3 months, if they are done, they have the opportunity to renew the contract. And also, additionally, they can also do secondment. So if you are there for even more than 10 years and you come back, you still have your job in the Ghana Health Service, Beatrice. Yeah.
Okay, but the Chief of Staff didn't talk,
Didn't say a word,
obviously.
yeah.
What about the nurses themselves? They must be happy going.
Oh, yeah,
out
of course, they're so excited about this. The good news is they have this very contract is subject to renewal, and even if they stay as long as 20 years, there's still secondment. They still have their job secured in the Ghana Health Service. So that's good news, they told me.
Let's hear some of them, and then we'll continue with the conversation.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm extremely excited. I have tried all means of traveling outside Ghana, and I've been rejected. So when I had the opportunity, and I went for the interview and I passed through, it has become something else for me. I'm very happy about it. Not at all. I have never heard it. Before I went for the interview, I had never heard Antigua before. But through a friend who posted it to me that they are recruiting nurses, and I'm nurse anesthetist, so I took the opportunity to go for the interview.
Well, I think it's an opportunity. As nurses, we are being exported out there to give a face-off of what Ghana is training us to be. Actually, Ghana has been noted to be one of the countries with the best healthcare workers, and the fact that you've been deployed to go, personally, it's a privilege for me, and I'm really grateful that I had this opportunity.
And you heard some of the nurses, they're obviously excited. But George, we heard the health minister talk about earning foreign exchange. Really, to what extent? How much are we getting?
He didn't put that really into monetary value, but the good news is that they're making some bucks from Antigua. People would want to know what really entails in that very contract. Ghana is not losing at all, and some money is coming in. So yeah, hopefully if we get more of it, because the other countries like Jamaica, Barbados are also going to have nurses going there, and that will be in batches. So right after this, these nurses would be, batched to these countries like I mentioned, Jamaica and Barbados.
There are still people who are unemployed in Ghana.
Sure.
Nurses.
So
did they say anything about beyond this export program?
So Ghana inherited 80,000, and there are no resources to employ all of them. So these are some of the opportunities that they can use that. But the other professionals that are being sought after, because generally like this is looking for artisans. And the Ministry of Special Initiatives also is trying to make sure that some of these artisans get the opportunity that they actually want. And so apart from health workers, other professionals are being sought after. So Ghana, of course, is a place where I think countries are envying us. So I think there are more resources here that we actually can imagine. So,
indeed.
Yeah, it's good news.
Thank you very much, George Quaining, for bringing us that. And of course, we'll bring you updates as and when we have it. But let me bring you some more. In case you're hearing of Antigua and Barbuda for the first time, here's just a little bit of profile for that country, or on that country. Antigua and Barbuda is a twin island nation in the Eastern Caribbean, in the Leeward Islands of Lesser Antilles Sea, lying southeast of Puerto Rico. The total land area is about 443 kilometers, and also the population is around 93,000 to 106,000. So in terms of the total land side, that's 443 square kilometers, and population, like I just said, 93,000 to 106,000. Also, Antigua is home to approximately 98% of the people of Barbuda is much less populated. In terms of economy, Antigua and Barbuda is classified as a high-income country, according to the World Bank. The economy is small and service-oriented, with tourism playing a dominant role, often over 60% of gross domestic product. GDP, obviously an island country, and in terms of the health sector, is overseen by the Ministry of Health, Wellness, Social Transformation and Environment. Life expectancy between 78 and 79 years. Infant mortality 7 per 1,000. And under 5 mortality 7 to 9 per 1,000. So there you have it. And like I did say, we'll bring you some more as and when we have it. Let's go to Parliament now, where the Minority Caucus has been presenting their own assessment of the 1 year administration of the John Mahama-led leadership. Leader of the Minority Caucus, Alexander Penyumarking, spoke earlier about matters on Gold Board, the LGBTQ, among others. Take a listen to what they told us earlier.
This NDC hypocrisy for you. They also came to Parliament in the dead of night to introduce the Doomsaw levy, which upon our scrutiny they decided to suspend it. But again, in the dead of night, they started the implementation. So Ghanaians are being burdened with all these levies, yet they claim that they are a caring government. Let me repeat that the current stabilization rests heavily on the tight IMF conditions. And like I said, they've imposed new levies. Deep structural weakness, from inefficiencies in the energy sector to bottlenecks in agriculture, remain largely untouched. This is not transformation. It is a postponement of crisis wrapped in a polished statement. So for agriculture, let me ask our respected colleague Eric Opoku. He is a very intelligent parliamentarian. I don't doubt his understanding of the agro sector. But talk is cheap. It is not about his talking. Today I want to ask my respected colleague, Honorable Eric Opoku, the minister responsible for agriculture, to hold a press conference and tell Ghanaians the real policies that have been introduced to help promote agriculture. There's none. In the fishery sector, the least said about them, the better. So really, this government talks so much in opposition, but in government, there is nothing they've done in the agro and the fisheries sectors to promote growth, and we see it in that field. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, we submit further that this government has failed the Ghanaian people in the most basic duty of a modern state, to move its citizens safely and decently from one part of their own country to another. Please, tell your people that you are not interested at all. They shouldn't lead you into temptation. And by the way, it is not possible. Also, we have heard that certain people have filed certain processes at the court. We also have this to tell my Lord Bafuboni. We know that this job was handed to you on a silver platter. We know that you have your masters to please. But my Lord Bafuboni, in the end, when history is being written, it will be your name. And to our judges at the Supreme Court, Ghanaians are watching how you determine the matters that are coming before you.
And you had the minority leader Alexander Apenyo Markin. Let's speak to Christian Yale, our parliamentary affairs correspondent, who also monitored this press conference for us. Chris, what more can you tell us as regards what the minority leader said at the press conference?
All right. So, Beatrice, he has been talking at large about a number of issues that they want to ask.
Christian Yale, we're almost losing you. If you'd kindly reposition yourself so we are able to hear you. And please go again, because we didn't hear anything you said.
Beatrice, can you hear me?
Excellent. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I was saying that he has largely touched on different thematic issues over the past 1 hour, largely talking about first the economy and what they think is the fortunes of the economy, largely stemming from the IMF program as well as what he terms as a windfall. And so basically he has made the case that government is not enjoying the economic gains out of any re-engineering, but out of efforts by the previous administration and the current IMF program that the government is undertaking. Now he also talks about another issue that has been a bone of contention concerning the anti-LGBTQ bill and the recent NACA curriculum issue or teacher manual issue that came up. Largely, he also speaks about the $214 million gold losses under the Good for Research program and demands some level of justification from the Bank of Ghana, which is in that oversight role, and also ropes in the gold board as a matter of fact that if anything at all, government should be able to maintain and sustain the good for policy and ensure that there is an actual benefit from it. But one thing, Beatrice, that stood out was the mentioned that this government failed to deliver a decent society, and now people are queuing up in numbers at various bus terminals to board vehicles to their workplaces and to their houses. Now, the bit about the earlier claim that government is under the NPP sold buses to cronies.
And unfortunately, we've lost the line to Christian Yale. We'll bring you more in our subsequent bulletins. But we stay on the NPP because former Speaker of Parliament and founding member of the party, Professor Michael Quay, says committees responsible for disciplining individuals who flout party regulations are already inviting individuals. This comes days after intense exchange of words among the flag bearer aspirant and their supporters ahead of the NPP's presidential primary this weekend. Professor Michael Quay spoke to me earlier in an exclusive interview.
Those are internal documents. In fact, some people have even asked why we as a committee did not make copies available to certain personalities in the party. But it was not meant so to be. That is why we reported to the National Council of the party, the highest decision body outside conference. When we report to them, we have washed our hands of it. And they've started implementing some areas, and they are going to implement more in due course, which we quietly are observing. Nobody ever publishes such reports. They are not meant for the public. The NDC never has. The MPP will not do so. Why? Because those who commission, you will report to them, and they use aspects as they think fit to improve upon situations.
And you heard Professor Michael Quay rather speaking about the report regarding the investigation that he did. Remember, there was a committee that was set up to investigate why the MPP lost in the 2024 general election. So he is defending the decision of the party not to release that report. And we'll bring you that bit about the committees busy inviting people who have flouted party's regulations to face disciplinary actions. We'll bring you more of that later. Some 22 minutes past the hour of 12. Now, Ghana is considering extending the deployment of its troops to Jamaica beyond the initial 60-day period, and more work remains in the country's reconstruction efforts. A recent visit by Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister and the Deputy Defense Minister revealed that the troops have so far rebuilt about 26 affected buildings, with many more still awaiting repairs. Let's listen to the Foreign Affairs Minister and the Defense Minister speaking on this.
And as our Chief of Army Staff stated, we'll be discussing whether or not it is necessary to extend their stay, and that discussion we'll have with you. But it is the wish of a commander-in-chief that if our troops are still needed, we are willing to let them stay for additional months if you need them to work. Secondly, I wish to remind our troops that what they are currently doing here, we may think that they are reconstructing homes, but we know that they are building lives as well, because the more houses they bring back, the more comfortable the people feel and live their lives. And so we want to commend them for the hard work and for their professionalism. Ghanaian soldiers are known for maintaining the standards everywhere we go and for being professional as well. We think that they represent the compassionate Ghanaian, and they also serve as ambassadors for the Republic of Ghana, carrying out the message to the world. And our presence here has really strengthened our image in terms of world recognition. And that is something that is highly, highly commendable. We want to assure them of our support and also to encourage
Well, the Chief of Army Staff has also called for the initiation of bilateral defense relations with the Jamaica Defense Force to build institutional capacity. Speaking during a visit to Jamaica, the Chief of Army Staff said such a partnership would significantly enhance knowledge sharing, particularly in the area of disaster management. My colleague Joseph Armstrong, good, we has the rest of the story.
This is the time you have to prove yourself as a professional soldier and let the Ghanaian soldierly character show in this place. One striking significance of your operation here that I note is your joint operation with the Jamaica Defense Force. I have been on...
And we do apologize for that. We'll bring you that report later. Let's go to the courts now, and officials of the Narcotics Control Commission have rearrested Frederick Kumi, also known as Abu Trika, a suspect of wire fraud and romance scam in the U.S. after he was discharged earlier today. Earlier on, the Gbese District Court discharged Abu Trika and two alleged accomplices, Lord Ishan and Bernard Adu, after the state withdrew the charges against them. They pleaded not guilty to defrauding by false pretense and money laundering. Lord Edward Sare is our court affairs correspondent. He joins us live on the line. Lord, what more can you tell us? Lord,
Beatrice, and so today at the Gbese District Court, the court discharged Abu Trika and then his two accomplices, alleged accomplices, Lord Ishan and then Bernard Adu. We recall that at the last time they were in court, the prosecution had filed a notice of withdrawal against just the two alleged accomplices, but the relieving judge could not get them to be discharged because she indicated that it was only relieving the substantive judge. So, but today when the case was called, the prosecution indicated that they had filed a notice of withdrawal and to withdraw charges against Frederick Kumi, also known as Abu Trika, and then the two alleged accomplices. Now, afterwards, to the High Court, there were two applications filed by lawyers of Abu Trika and then the third accused person, Bernard Adu. Now, for Abu Trika, his lawyers led by Oliver Bakavomawo had filed a certiorari application to strike out the charges against Abu Trika at the Gbese District Court. And then for Bernard Adu, his lawyers had filed an application to have him discharged and or granting bail at the time that he was still in custody. But today in court, they indicated, the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. indicated that they had filed a notice of withdrawal against all three, and so it meant that the applications before the High Court today had become moot, considering that had been overtaken by the circumstances. And so that was confirmed, and then the High Court accordingly discharged the three. Now, we actually spoke to the lawyer for Bernard Adu, who indicated that his client was still in the custody of the NIB. But we should notice this: once the case was done, when Abu Trika was discharged, he went out. He was engaging his lawyers and then his family members. His wife was present, family and friends, hugging or chatting. And then the Narcotics Control Commission officials came to arrest him again. We do not know what the details of those are. We don't know whether there are new charges going to be proffered against him. But we do know that once he was re-arrested, he was escorted from the court premises and taken away. And so as we speak, Beatrice, we do not know what this means for his case, except to say that definitely we know that his extradition case may still be on because he has been rearrested. So in the coming days, we'll be observing to see if the Attorney General will put forward a new charge sheet against him and then the alleged accomplices saying that they were discharged and then they have been, Abuchika has been rearrested. We still do not know the whereabouts of the others. We expect to say that Bernard Adu, his lawyer, indicated that he was still in the custody of the NIB. And so you're going to see them and see what the issue is and would know if he's going to be discharged or otherwise. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lord Edwasari, our Court Affairs correspondent. And that's it for the Midday News here on 3FM and 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us today. Log on to srinews.com for more news. Good afternoon.
Journey of Pan-Africanism and consciousness. It is your regular taxi driver with the urban blend and 3FM 92.7 in living stereo every day, Monday to Friday from 12:30 p.m. till 3 p.m. This is the show everybody listens to, so your business will certainly do well here. My name, Black Rasta. I am the rootical, hairtical, Don Gargan, Mua Fire. Come forward. Atinga ya chika fankare, Azure ya chika fankare, Abama ta chika fankare.
3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
Accra, Ghana, Africa, and worldwide. Join us on Inspirational Gospel Mix this and every Sunday, 8 p.m. 3FM.
What is your favorite scripture?
Well, my favorite scripture is Romans 8:28, and it says, all things work together for the good to them that love the Lord. Kwame, that is absolutely my favorite scripture.
Yes, your Inspirational Gospel Mix, a moment to get inspired with the best of inspirational songs and interviews to get you prepared for the new week. Every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. with me, your big brother, Kwame Adu, mixing G, mixing gospel. You can't miss it. You are blessed as you listen. 3FM 92.7.
It has always been a journey of Pan-Africanism and consciousness. It is your regular taxi driver with the urban blend.
good afternoon. Welcome to Business Daily on 3FM 92.7. Coming up, Bank of Ghana signals caution as MPC debates how to respond to improved conditions, warns against Russian policy easing despite restored confidence. We hear from Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama, and Ghana cedi emerges as Africa's top performing currency in 2025. Plus, Government of Ghana records massive T-bill oversubscription of 61.94%, and raises 12.8 billion cedis. I am Michael Obudu. Details of these and many other stories coming up shortly. Straight into our top story, and the Bank of Ghana has signaled caution on monetary policy despite improved macroeconomic conditions. Opening the first MPC meeting of 2026, Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama said the focus is on sustaining stability and managing expectations rather than Russian policy changes. Ahead of a policy rate decision on January 28, Dr. Esiama warned that while conditions have improved, the gains are not yet guaranteed and must be carefully protected.
This meeting is not about touting the successes that we have achieved, but rather about analyzing the data that will be presented to the committee to assess whether stability will be guaranteed going forward. Globally, growth remains resilient, with projections around 3.3% into 2026. Even as geopolitical uncertainty persists. While Ghana has benefited from favorable external conditions, particularly higher gold prices, we must remain mindful that these tailwinds may not be permanent. Domestically, rapid disinflation has created policy space, but also raises important questions and policy issues.
And that was Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama speaking there. Now, the cedi has officially been ranked as the best performing currency in Africa for 2025, according to a comprehensive analysis of the International Monetary Fund data. The report, which tracked more than 20 major economies across the continent, revealed that the cedi appreciated by over 40% against the dollar during the year. This remarkable recovery marks a significant turnaround from the previous years of volatility, positioning Ghana at the forefront of Africa's currency stability. Finance and tax analyst Nelson Kujo-Kwagbeji has attributed this stellar performance to a combination of aggressive monetary policy and bolstered national reserve.
I will basically attribute this significant performance to the strict monetary stance taken by the Bank of Ghana. I mean, during the course of the year, Bank of Ghana has issued so many directives regarding its FX operation. And I mean, the bank itself, the central bank, has also intervened in the market with the sole aim of stabilizing the Ghana cedi. So the Bank of Ghana has played a major role in this stability that we have enjoyed in 2025. We can also attribute the performance to the reserve that we have built as a result of the gold export. I mean, we started the year with a gross international reserve of a little over $10 billion, but we ended the year with well over $14 billion. And this is largely attributable to the windfall that we have enjoyed as a result of gold exportation. As of today, the spot price of gold is well over a little over $5,000 per ounce, and we expect to continue to enjoy the windfall, build the necessary reserve in order to continue to sustain the stability of the cedi even in 2026.
And that was finance and tax analyst Nelson Kujo-Kwagbeji speaking. Now, the government of Ghana's domestic borrowing program saw a significant surge in investor appetite on Friday, January 23, 2026, as the fourth Treasury bill auction of the year recorded a massive oversubscription. The auction accepted 12.803 billion cedis, leading to an oversubscription of 61.94%. This report has more.
Government of Ghana's target for the latest T-bill auction was 9.825 billion cedis across the three standard tenors. government received total bids amounting to 15.911 billion cedis, representing a subscription rate of approximately 162% in a strategic move to manage its debt profile while capitalizing on the high liquidity. Government accepted 12.803 billion cedis, exceeding its initial target by nearly 3 billion cedis. The auction was oversubscribed by 61.94%. Alternatively, the subscription rate was 161.94%, meaning the government received bids worth more than 1.6 times the amount it initially intended to raise. The short-term 91-day bill saw offers reaching 4.154 billion cedis, while government opted to accept 3.441 billion cedis at a yield of 11.19%. The medium-term 182-day bills bid totaled 4.247 billion cedis, and government accepted 4.287 billion cedis at an interest rate of 12.66%. The 364-day bill, the longest tenor available, attracted the highest volume of capital, with bids amounting to 7.459 billion cedis, while government accepted 5.075 billion cedis at a yield of 13.06%. The latest auction follows a consistent trend of oversubscription observed throughout January 2026. Government shows no signs of showing its domestic fundraising efforts, as the next auction scheduled for January 30, 2026. The Treasury has set a new target of 6.997 billion cedis.
And that's how we end today's edition of Business Daily on 3FM 92.7. For more business stories, please check out our website. It's 3news.com/business. I am Michael Obudu. Thank you for tuning in. As always, please stay safe. Up next is Urban Blend, and Black Rasta is on standby. Do stay tuned.